Section 1. The sudden chill. When warm turns to cold. It always feels confusing when a woman who once couldn't stop talking to you suddenly seems like she's somewhere else entirely. One day she's laughing at your jokes, replying instantly, and sharing bits of her world with you. The next, her messages are dry, delayed, and polite in that distant kind of way. It feels like someone flipped a switch overnight. But here's the thing. Coldness doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not random. When she suddenly turns cold, it's not because she woke up and decided to care less. It's because something inside her shifted. Maybe it was something you said, something she felt, or even something that had nothing to do with you but reminded her of something painful. When a woman goes cold, it's rarely about the surface moment. It's about everything that built up quietly before it. And yet, because she doesn't always explain it, we're left trying to piece it together. We replay old conversations, overanalyze her tone, and ask ourselves, was it me? Most of the time, that coldness is her way of protecting herself, even when it looks like rejection.
Section 2. The hidden buildup, what you didn't see coming. The truth is, when women start to pull away, it doesn't usually happen suddenly, even if it looks that way from the outside. The signs were there, but subtle. Maybe she stopped asking follow-up questions. Maybe her voice didn't sound as excited when she talked to you. Maybe she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Women often start withdrawing emotionally long before they physically or verbally do it. But because they try to keep things smooth, they won't always show that something's wrong. They hope it'll get better. They wait to feel that spark again. But when it doesn't come back, when the effort starts feeling one-sided, they begin to shut down quietly. Psychologists often talk about something called emotional fatigue. It's what happens when someone gives, explains, and tries, but doesn't feel heard or understood. So when she goes cold, it's usually not her first response. It's her last resort. It's how she regains control over a situation where she's felt powerless for too long.
Section 3. The emotional wall, her defense mechanism. When someone turns cold, it's tempting to see it as indifference, but in reality, coldness can be a defense, not detachment. For many women, emotional warmth feels risky once they've been hurt, ignored, or disappointed repeatedly. The coldness is her armor. It's how she keeps herself from caring too much again. Think of it like a switch she flips when she's had enough confusion, enough waiting, enough guessing. When she feels like her effort isn't being met or her emotions are being taken for granted, she builds a wall to stop the ache from spreading any further. It's not that she doesn't feel, she just doesn't want to feel anymore. And ironically, that coldness you sense might be full of emotion, anger, sadness, or disappointment, but she hides it under calmness. That's what makes it confusing. You see distance, but what's really there is emotional overload that she's no longer willing to show.
Section 4. The psychology behind her change. According to relationship studies, when emotional needs are unmet, people, especially women, tend to withdraw rather than explode. It's not manipulation, it's self-preservation. About 68% of women, according to a 2023 survey by Psychology Today, say they emotionally detach before ending things physically. That means the relationship often ends inside their mind, long before they ever walk away. So when she turns cold, she's not doing it to punish you, she's doing it to protect her peace. Emotional detachment is her way of saying, I've felt too much and I need to stop before it hurts more. And if we're honest, it's easier to be cold than to be vulnerable again. Vulnerability feels risky when warmth hasn't been reciprocated, so she numbs herself instead. It's quiet, it's subtle, but it's her way of surviving what feels like emotional exhaustion.
Section 5. The moment she snaps, the invisible breaking point. There's always a moment when she decides, consciously or not,
that she's done trying. But you rarely see it happen. It might be the fourth time she felt dismissed, the fifth time her feelings were brushed off, or maybe it's that one tiny argument that pushed her over the edge because it echoed 100 small hurts before it. That moment is quiet but powerful. It's the second she says to herself, "I'm done explaining." And once that happens, everything changes. She stops asking, stops chasing, stops caring. It's like a door closes, and the warmth you once felt can't reach you anymore. You might notice she's polite but detached, kind but uninterested. And no matter how much you try to reignite the old spark, it doesn't feel the same. Because emotionally, she's already moved on from the version of you that made her feel unseen. Section 6. How men misread her coldness. Here's where things often get misunderstood. When she goes cold, many men assume she's losing interest or playing games, but that's not usually the case. In reality, she's reacting to a buildup of emotions that were never resolved. What you see as sudden coldness is actually the final step in a long emotional process you didn't see happening. She's not trying to make you chase her, and she's not being dramatic. She's simply done explaining what she's already said in 100 subtle ways. Her silence and distance are her clearest statements yet. And this is where most men panic. They start over-texting, over-calling, trying to fix it fast. But that usually pushes her further away. Because by the time she's cold, she's already emotionally detached. Fixing it at that stage isn't about words. It's about actions that rebuild trust, slowly and sincerely. Section 7. The Science of Emotional Withdrawal. Studies from Harvard and Stanford's relationship research teams show that emotional withdrawal is one of the most common coping mechanisms when someone feels undervalued. The human brain literally shifts its energy, reducing emotional investment as a form of self-protection. It's like turning down the volume on feelings that hurt too much to keep hearing. That's why you might notice her tone change, her responses shorten, and her energy fade. It's not a strategy, it's biology. Her brain is trying to keep her safe from more emotional pain, so she subconsciously distances herself from the person or situation causing it. And once that switch happens, it's incredibly hard to reverse. Because now her body and mind associate you with discomfort. That's why reconnecting takes time. It's not about logic, it's about rewiring how she feels around you. Section 8. What happens next? The shift in power. When she turns cold, the entire dynamic between you changes. Suddenly, the person who once needed your attention doesn't crave it anymore. The one who once reached out first now barely replies. And whether you admit it or not, that shift hurts. But what's really happening is this. She's reclaiming her energy. All that effort she once poured into keeping things alive, she's now redirecting it toward herself. That's why she seems more focused, calmer, even happier sometimes. Because emotional detachment often looks like strength once the storm has passed. If you're still in that situation, this is the moment to pause. Not to chase, not to demand explanations, but to reflect. Because if she's gone cold, something along the way made her feel like warmth wasn't safe anymore. The question isn't just, why did she change? It's, what made her need to? Section 9. Can warmth come back? Now here's the part everyone wonders about. Can she ever turn warm again? The honest answer is yes, but only if she wants to. Once someone has gone cold, they have to choose to reopen emotionally. You can't force it. You can only create the space where trust feels possible again. That means consistency. It means listening instead of defending. It means making her feel safe enough to care again. Because when warmth returns, it's not instant. It's rebuilt through patience, effort, and sincerity. Remember, coldness isn't hate, it's protection.
And warmth doesn't vanish forever. It just hides behind the hurt until it feels safe to come out again. Section 10. The bigger picture. What we learn from it. At the end of the day, when she suddenly turns cold, it's rarely sudden at all. It's the quiet result of feeling unseen for too long. It's her way of saying, without words, I cared too much for too long. And if we really look deeper, this isn't just about romance. It's about emotional awareness, about learning to listen when someone's tone changes, to pay attention before the warmth disappears, to realize that coldness isn't rejection, it's a reflection of what went unhealed. So the next time you sense that shift, don't just ask, why is she acting cold? Ask instead, what made her stop feeling safe? Because sometimes that one question can turn everything around.